Hi, and welcome to the Sea Turtle drawing demo. We will practice drawing basics using gesture, contour line, and value today. We'll follow along with these drawing tutorials. To get started, make sure you have a regular pencil with an eraser, a graphite pencil, we recommend a 6B graphite pencil, and some blending stumps. Following along with the drawing tutorial, what we're going to do first is we're going to start with some basic shape to capture the gesture of the sea turtle. I'm going to start with a circle for the head and a really large oval for the mass of the body. I'll add a little rounded triangular shape for the tail, an oval shape for the fin at the back, and some curved triangular shapes for the front fins. Notice that as I'm working, I'm creating really light sketch lines. These are called gesture lines, and gesture lines are important because they allow you to plan out what you're going to draw before you start laying down important details. Once you have captured the overall gesture of the sea turtle, you can start to create a nice clean contour line drawing. A contour line drawing is basically an outline drawing. In step 2, you want to focus on connecting the shapes that you started with so that they become one continuous contour line drawing without too much detail. We're still trying to plan out the overall composition of the sea turtle on this step. Something you might notice is that I am drawing a little bit darker with my pencil. Mainly, I'm doing this so that the video will pick up the drawing and you can see which lines are going to become my contour line drawings and which lines are the starting point or the gesture lines. What I want you to do is I want you to continue to draw very lightly. It's important that you draw light until you get it right. Many of the lines that we're starting with right now are not going to be the main outline or the finished outline in the end. So you're most likely going to erase a lot of what you're doing as you start to plan out the overall composition. So always try to draw lightly, lighter than what I'm doing here in this video. As you start to draw and you make sure that your features are the right proportion and scale, I want you to also consider negative space. Look at the shapes that are formed in between the fins, for example. You can see a triangular shape there. You can also notice the placement of objects. So that front fin that I was just working on, I'm going to compare that to where maybe the eye is or the back of the eye. Are they lined up? Are they further away from each other? Those are all things you want to consider. As I'm drawing the fins, I want to consider which one's lower on the horizon, which one's higher up on the horizon, and that can help me draw more accurately. Now I'm going to move on to step 3 in the drawing tutorial. In this step, I'm going to continue to refine the overall contour line drawing of my sea turtle, making sure to add a little bit more detail, specifically in the neck and the head, and especially that shell. Draw what you see, don't draw what you know. Now we're on the final step, step 4 of this tutorial. In this step, you're going to finish the contour line drawing and ensure that the contour line drawing is as realistic as possible. In this step, you can definitely erase any gesture lines or shapes that you no longer need and add in all of the detail that you see in the reference image, particularly the patterns on the fins and the details in the face. Now it's time for the fun part. Now that you have a nice clean contour line drawing and you're satisfied with the overall design, you can pick up your graphite pencil. Again, I'm using a 6B pencil. I feel like this pencil gives me a nice range of values from the lights to the darks. And with this pencil, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by filling in all of the dark details I see in my reference photo. Some artists do like to work light to dark and layer their values. I like to work dark to light. So I'm going to use a graphite pencil to fill in all of those dark values, and as I work, I'm going to have the dark values fade off into the medium values. I'm going to use my blending stump then to blend out the dark and medium values and carry that value into those lighter areas. Watch as I work and feel free to pause the video as needed. Okay, now that I have finished with the dark and medium values using the graphite pencil, I'm going to pick up a blending stump and I'm going to use the blending stump to go through softening the value I placed down with the graphite and using the value that ends up on the blending stump to carry into the lighter areas. If you don't have a blending stump, you can also use a Q-tip, and you can also use a piece of tissue rolled up into a tip, and that will allow you to blend your graphite as well. And just as a reminder, the blending step is going to allow you to create a nice smooth surface using what you've already placed down with the graphite, but it can't solve all of your problems. If you didn't lay down the graphite neatly in the first place, the blending stump is not going to be able to fix that smooth surface. It can only enhance what you've already placed down. It can't fix your problems. So in some cases you may need to go back over your work and smooth it out with graphite before you go to your blending stump. As you work with the blending stump, use small tight circles and different levels of pressure depending on the space that you're shading. Now that I have finished with the blending stump, I picked up my graphite pencil. I'm going to go back over some areas, making sure that I have nice contrast throughout. I'll pick up my eraser and I'll erase any areas that the graphite got out of the lines, and I'll just make sure that I refine everything before I say I'm done.